Emergency floodlights illuminate the wreckage of 2 Long Island rush hour trains jammed with commuters and holiday passengers. The front car of the second train was sheared down the middle as it telescoped under the first train's rear car. The 2 cars fused, trapping scores of dead and wounded. High on the list of heroes is Dr. Paul Sofer, who crawled into the fused cars and for 4 hours gives morphine and treatment to the wounded until rescue workers can reach them. The crash occurred when the brakes of a local train locked, stopping it on an embankment in one of the city's most heavily populated sections. An express 2 minutes behind didn't stop. Through mechanical or human failure, the answer may never be known, for its engineer is among the 77 dead.
On a misty October morning, tragedy came to North London. When a local train was standing at Harrow and Wealdstone station, crowded with workers on their way to the city, the Perth night express came thundering in. Then, to add to the horror, the Liverpool-bound train roared in at 60 miles an hour, piling up into a hell of wreckage and human suffering. The injured and the dying lay there. The typists, the clerks, the soldiers, the fathers and mothers and children. And as in all such moments of anguish, mankind was at its finest. There came the magnificent police and firemen, the men of the services, the women of Wealdstone, the doctors and nurses. And from nearby came American servicemen with superb equipment, and even more important, with great hearts. Search is made in the wreckage of the Bangalore Express for victims of one of India's worst train disasters for many years, when a small river bridge, weakened by floodwater, collapsed under the engine, and the first 2 coaches were crushed like eggshells. The engine plunged against the farther bank, but the crew escaped with their lives. By a near miracle, the remaining 6 coaches stayed on the track. Otherwise, the loss of life would have been far greater. The crash came just before 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was many hours before even a few of the bodies could be identified. The first coach was a packed 70-seater, and not one of its occupants survived. A tragic circumstance, for some of the following coaches were almost empty. The swollen river is believed to have carried away many victims of this grim disaster. The whole Dutch nation is shocked by the terrible railway disaster at Harmelen near Utrecht. An express to Rotterdam traveling at 75 miles an hour in fog ploughed into another train going at 40. The total number of passengers was 500. A 1,000 railwaymen and soldiers helped in the grim work of rescue. This was far and away the most terrible accident in the history of Dutch railways. More than 150 people killed. That was the appalling death toll in the Tokyo train crash. A goods train ran past a red signal and was struck by a suburban train. Within minutes, a 3rd train crashed into the wreckage of the first 2, killing many passengers who were trying to crawl to safety. Converted into a temporary morgue was a nearby Buddhist temple. Here for a time lay the bodies of the victims who had been identified. Both the suburban trains were full of people who had been in Tokyo for the celebrations of Constitution Day.